My best friend made me pumpkin puree. I poured it straight into my pregnant dog's bowl. Because I've been given another life. In the life I lost, Serafina trapped me with something she called a harvest system. Every meal she prepared for me stole more than comfort. It stole the child inside me and sent it to her, to be born as hers. She had married into a household desperate for a son. 3 generations without one had turned her in-laws fierce and thin with hope. Serafina, who could not conceive, saw an opportunity in me, her newly married friend. I became a means to an heir. I did what I could to hold on to that tiny miracle. I got pregnant, and I cherished it like something fragile and holy. Then, after every dish she made me eat, I miscarried. While I lay in grief, Serafina paraded 4 sons into the world, one by one, basking in the praise of her husband and his family. Her joy was a mirror that reflected my ruin. They turned on me. My husband and his parents accused me of madness, of destroying my own pregnancies. They watched footage, they said, of me behaving like a lunatic, hurling myself about the house, assaulting my own belly. They said I had schizophrenia. A man even came forward to claim I had been his lover, that I had killed those children out of a perverse devotion. They stripped me of everything, and then they left me beneath an overpass, hunger gnawing at my insides until I died. Only after I had been torn away from that life did I see the truth. It had been Serafina, and the binding she had placed on me, siphoning my children away. Now I am back. If she wants a child, she can try to steal mine again. But this time, I have plans that are mine alone. I woke to a doctor's quiet voice saying I was 3 months along. The numbers felt steady, precise. My heart should have lifted with joy, but before I could let any feeling bloom, someone set a steaming thermos of chicken soup on the bedside table. "Ilara, pregnancy must be wearing you out," Serafina cooed. She moved like a woman made of silk and polish, jewels catching the light as if she had been carved from affluence. "I thought you might like this," she said with a smile that never reached her eyes, offering the thermos like an offering. "It took me all morning. Have a little, it will do you good." I did not reach for it. My mother-in-law made a disgusted sound. "What on earth are you waiting for, Ilara? Sarah has gone to so much trouble. Don't be ungrateful." Nurses around us leaned in, their voices a gentle chorus reinforcing the performance. Serafina's name became a hymn. How kind she was, how rare a friend like her. She ladled soup into a bowl and held it under my chin like a mother coaxing a child. "Drink this while it's warm." I was up at 4, simmering it for hours. "If you don't like it, I can make something else, anything." A cold memory hit me like a fist. In my former life, I had drunk the soup she offered. By nightfall, I was bleeding and cramping, the life inside me gone. Doctors ran tests, they found nothing wrong with my body. There was no biological reason for the losses, but they kept happening. 3 more pregnancies, 3 more vanished babies. They said I had snapped. They committed me, they labeled me. I swore, I begged to be believed, but my husband and his family had already decided. When the man who claimed to be my lover came forward, their verdict was complete. I was discarded. They called it schizophrenia, they called me unfit. They called me everything but the truth, that Serafina had bound me, and taken from me what was mine. Now the thermos steamed between us, innocent and menacing. I pushed the bowl away. The scent turned my stomach. "I don't think I can," I said. The smile slipped off Serafina's face. My mother-in-law's expression snapped into open scorn. "Ilara Vance, do not be rude," she hissed. "She made that for you. You used to adore her cooking. What is this, a show?" Nurses whispered, some pitying, some snide. Serafina, unfazed, produced a glass of lemonade with the same practiced care. "It's okay. I brought this too," she said, voice soft as gauze. "Maybe this will settle your stomach." Her offering was another rehearsal. My mother-in-law softened at once, praising her as magnanimous. The whole room wanted to believe in Serafina's goodness. My first impulse was to throw the drink away, to sever every thread connecting me to her. But then I saw the golden retriever cradled in my husband's arms, fat with puppies. The dog's belly rose and fell, a small world moving within. A thought, sharp and dangerous, flared up. If Serafina's curse had once taken a human fetus, what would happen if an animal ate what she made? Would the life inside the dog, the puppies, be stolen as well? Transferred into her womb? I decided, quietly, to test it. I feigned weakness. "I've been throwing up all morning. Acid things just make it worse." I pushed the thermos gently towards Serafina. It would be a shame to waste that soup after all you put into it. At that moment, another expectant mother recognized Serafina from college, gushing over her talent for cooking. She asked if she might taste the soup. Plain, rough-featured, she looked eager enough to help my plan along without suspecting how I would use her. I watched Serafina accept the praise, listen to the room's soft applause. Behind her smile, I could see the machinery of the past life reassembling. I had come back with memory and with choice. I would not be the passive victim again. If she wanted to steal life, she would get a different kind of harvest. It felt like fate smiling down on me. Serafina's face flickered through a palette of green and white as she instinctively tried to shield the soup. "Oh, this is for Alara," she stammered. The other woman laughed, unbothered. "What's the fuss? She didn't even touch it." "I'll take it. Leftovers don't scare me." A nurse chimed in, trying to intervene. "Yes, you worked hard. Someone else deserves it if she won't eat it."
"Exactly.
"No need to be so generous with her," added another. Serafina's hands tightened, her knuckles bleaching, her face draining of color. Just then, Ethan appeared beside her. "Nobody's eating that soup," he said, casual charm masking his intent. "I knocked over the salt shaker this morning while rushing. It went straight into the pot, and I forgot to tell her. Probably too salty now," he explained, scratching his head with mock apology. "No big deal. Lunch on me, everyone." The situation dissolved with a single lie. My suspicion was confirmed. The system acted on anyone consuming her meals. It was meant to select mothers, smart, beautiful, capable, whose children could be stolen. Next month, I'd volunteer at an upscale animal shelter, home to several ravenous, pregnant dogs. A perfect test. I planned to bring some of Serafina's gifts along. Before I could ask for pumpkin puree, she offered it first. "Alara, since soup and lemonade didn't help, I also brought some homemade pumpkin puree. It's packed with nutrients for expectant mothers." Her smile was flawless as she pressed the jar into my hands. Onlookers gasped. Nurses nodded approvingly. "My God, you're the best friend ever," one whispered. Serafina blushed, covering her mouth delicately. "Alara just reached the 3-month mark, critical time. She's my dearest friend. I'd do anything for her." Everyone looked at me, envy simmering in their eyes. I remembered my last life, hovering invisibly, watching her gloat to Ethan. "This fourth one isn't as perfect as I hoped. Maybe we should reset with someone else," she had said, applying makeup with mechanical precision. "I only wanted one child from her." She laughed, cruel and hollow. But she kept conceiving. All the strain was hers, none of it mine. Having a child was easy for me. A few sons aren't bad. Her smirk lingered, triumphant. "It's almost fun."
Shame she died so soon.
Could have played much longer. Her cruelty had ended me once. Why did she have the right to ruin me? Now she was offering me the tools herself. I slipped the jar of pumpkin puree into my bag. Serafina tilted her head, anxious. "Aren't you going to try it? It's really good." I smiled faintly. "It's so delicious, I want to save it for later, savored at home." She opened her mouth to protest, but the crowd erupted against me. What a fake. If you didn't want it, why take it? She's trying to profit off her friend. Look at the fancy jar. Disgusting. I didn't care what they thought. In this life, I came first. Serafina, clinging to her role, pressed on. "Alara, you've been sick all day. You must eat something for you and the baby. Please, just try it." Ethan's expression darkened. "Alara, why won't you open it? Do you think we'd poison you?" I froze. If they realized I knew, everything would collapse. My plan, my safety, my child gone. I unscrewed the jar, taking a tiny spoonful. Serafina and Ethan smiled, satisfied. I mirrored them, all politeness.
"Thank you, Sarah."
"I'm so lucky to have a friend like you," I said, feigning gratitude. Once they left, I booked an ultrasound. The baby was safe. I had hidden the puree under my tongue, spitting it into a tissue after pretending to swallow. The rest of the jar remained untouched in my bag. At home, I began plotting. Then the doorbell rang. Serafina stood there, tissue in hand, bright orange puree smeared across it. "Alara, didn't you eat this?" "Found it by the elevator trash." Her eyes were sharp, cold. Before I could answer, Ethan collapsed onto me, feigning faintness. I screamed and shoved him off. He popped candy in his mouth, murmuring apologies. My husband and mother-in-law insisted on taking me to the hospital, ostensibly concerned. Serafina clung to me, watching the ultrasound, every flicker of the screen, every report word. The baby was fine. I shot Serafina a look. Everything okay? She frowned, soothing. Of course, just worried about Ethan. I'll give him a piece of my mind. Painful as her act was, it confirmed her vigilance. She pressed me on the puree. I told her I had eaten it but vomited. Then she ordered 3 crates delivered to my house.
Perfect.
The dog's feast had arrived. I wondered, after all those pregnant dogs had eaten, what kind of precious babies would begin to grow inside Serafina. I hadn't touched a single spoonful of Serafina's pumpkin puree, and my baby was safe. Naturally, I avoided everything else she sent over as well. The next day, I stashed the 3 crates she had delivered and had a local artisan create 3 identical crates filled with ordinary organic pumpkin puree. Serafina's special batch was reserved for my plan at the animal shelter, a pack of pregnant rescue dogs, some with a history of aggression, all now reformed but still deserving of a treat. Pumpkin puree is perfect for dogs, aids digestion, supports healthy weight, and packs a vitamin punch. Each pregnant dog would get a generous taste. Serafina loved her manipulative games.
Fine.
I could play too. A week later, she appeared at my door, hovering with that polished charm she perfected over the years. She asked casually about my appetite and well-being, clearly fishing for updates on my pregnancy. I feigned discomfort, clutching my stomach. I have felt a strange heaviness lately. The doctor says everything is fine, but it's unusual. Serafina gasped. A picture of concern. Oh no. But if the doctor says everything's normal, then it must be. Rest, eat well, especially the pumpkin puree. It's packed with nutrients. I nodded obediently, and a subtle, wicked smile played across her lips. She had fallen for my act. Next, she produced a thermos of what she called a special collagen broth. I found the most incredible organic ingredients yesterday while shopping with my mother, so I made this just for you. I know you loved it before. Please try it. Clearly, she thought the harvest system was working too slowly. A whole week with no effect must have unnerved her. Her eyes were fixed on me, expectant. I drank the broth as she watched, then immediately ran to the bathroom. My fingers forced the liquid up, while stinging my throat, tears streaming. I splattered red food coloring around the toilet, snapped a photo, and sent it to her with a text. Sarah, something's wrong. My stomach is killing me, and there's so much blood. Her reply was perfunctory. No visit, no concern, she believed me.
Of course she did.
After 3 crates of her puree, it would have been suspicious if nothing had happened. By miscarrying immediately, I confirmed the illusion of her success. My shelter volunteer event was a month away, and Serafina insisted on accompanying me. I had to maintain the ruse perfectly. Acting was my strength too. Finally, the day arrived. I personally mixed her pumpkin puree into the dog's bowls, hiding it beneath kibble. I even left a few jars in a downtown underpass for strays. Everything was ready when Chloe, a high society heiress, arrived with her pregnant Afghan hound, an animal she famously pampered more than most people. Serafina found me almost immediately, her smile radiant. Ilara, this is Chloe, the friend I mentioned. Her father practically runs the city's financial district. I nodded politely, already knowing exactly who she was. Serafina looped her arm through Chloe's. Ilara Vance, my best friend, comes from humble beginnings. Her husband isn't rich, but they are both hard workers with hearts of gold. Then, in a conspiratorial whisper, her husband's startup could really use exposure. Maybe you could invite them to your birthday gala? It would be an amazing networking opportunity. I understood immediately. She had used the same tactic in my previous life, securing me an invitation to Chloe's exclusive party. I had been grateful, thinking it was a chance to boost my husband's fledgling business. The guest list had been filled with the city's elite, and I had believed Serafina's friendship was genuine. But the moment I entered that party, I had sensed something was wrong. The memory of that night still made my stomach churn. My husband had been plied with alcohol until he blacked out. I, unaccustomed to wine, had collapsed after a single glass. It had been drugged. When I awoke, I was violated by a stranger, left to face my husband and mother-in-law's fury. They called me a filthy, diseased traitor, demanding to know how I could bring such disgrace into their home. At the time, I couldn't comprehend who had orchestrated such cruelty. I even begged Serafina for help. Now, with her treacherous smile in front of me, The truth was sickeningly clear. It had all been her design. A cold, humorless laugh escaped me. Chloe, ever polite, hid her disgust behind a veneer of charm. Any friend of Sarah's is a friend of mine. Of course, you're both invited. The food will be divine, she said. Serafina hugged me, her act flawless.
See?
Chloe's wonderful, isn't she? Don't forget me when you both rise to the top. I forced a noncommittal response and excused myself. Finally, it was time for the dogs to eat. The shelter director addressed the high society guests, giving a speech on proper pet care. Meanwhile, the dogs dug into their bowls, unaware of the hidden layer beneath, the puree. I watched the elegant Afghan hound, its belly taut and round, licking the food with a look of pure contentment. Suddenly, a shriek of joy cut through the crowd. Serafina held up a pregnancy test, arm linked with Ethan's. It's positive. We're finally expecting. Her voice trembled with triumph. Ethan glowed with pride. Thank you, my love. I've waited for this day so long. I stepped back, a slow, knowing smile spreading across my face. Serafina boasted, loud enough for everyone to hear. The doctors said I had fertility problems, that natural conception was nearly impossible. They wanted treatments, IVF even. But I proved them wrong. Chloe chimed in. You just trusted yourself and your body. Look at the results. Serafina's gaze met mine, taunting me.
See?
Love conquers all. Unlike some people who worry and end up with nothing. I smiled serenely. She had no idea why. She didn't know what awaited her. Around the room, every dog had finished the puree-laced meal. The scent of pumpkin mingled with musky fur. And then the nightmare began. A scream shattered the air. All eyes turned. Serafina was on the floor, clutching her stomach, her body contorting in agony. Color drained from her face, sweat soaking the designer collar of her dress. Help somebody. My stomach, it hurts. Oh God, it hurts. Her abdomen swelled at an unnatural speed, inflating grotesquely. Fabric split, exposing taut, pale skin veined with dark, pulsing lines. The surface churned, as if something alive writhed beneath it. Her screams weakened to helpless whimpers, eyes wide with terror. Ethan froze, horror etched on his face. What is happening? He stammered. Your stomach, what is that? The room's air grew thick and cold. Silence fell, punctuated only by her ragged gasps. Serafina finally broke, panic overtaking her. Monsters. There are monsters inside me. Help me. She tried to flee, but her legs gave out, and she collapsed into a writhing heap, the horror consuming her utterly. Ethan snapped out of his trance and raced his luxury car, shoving the terrified, whimpering Serafina into the passenger seat. Tires squealed as he sped into the night, vanishing before anyone could intervene. Meanwhile, chaos erupted among the shelter patrons. Who did this? A stout man bellowed, face red with fury. My dog just miscarried. If anything happens to her, I swear I'll find the culprit. Others around him murmured in grim agreement. I let them stew. They weren't my concern. I had a better plan. Later, while sitting down for dinner, my phone buzzed. A message from my father read, Sweetheart, your grandmother isn't feeling well. I'm out of town. Please check on her at the old house by the abandoned Redstone warehouse. Keys under the mat. A chill ran through me. Something felt off.
Calls went straight to voicemail.
More texts brought only the same terse instruction. Just go. I'll be there soon. Despite my unease, I grabbed my coat and drove to the location. GPS led me to a decaying, foreboding industrial building, not a quaint house. My tire went flat as I approached, and my phone lost signal. I approached the slightly ajar door. Inside, a flickering fluorescent light cast long, menacing shadows across the empty space. Before I could retreat, Ethan stepped from the darkness, syringe and vial in hand, a cruel grin on his face. Don't bother running. You're not going anywhere, he said. You tricked me. Where's my dad? I demanded. He chuckled darkly. The texts? I cloned his number. Easy enough. Serafina appeared then, dragging her grotesquely swollen belly, her face twisted with rage. This system helps people conceive, but with some side effects. You're next. They overpowered me. I screamed as Ethan injected my blood into the vial while Serafina kicked me, slammed my fingers, and pressed her nails into my face. My lungs burned, my vision blurred, But one thought burned brighter than pain. I will survive. Then, the wail of sirens pierced the night. Serafina and Ethan froze. My dad had called the authorities, who had arrived just in time. Armed officers stormed the building. Ethan and Serafina tried to resist but were quickly subdued. Evidence revealed their crimes: the illegal use of the harvest system, leading to the death of the first victim and the targeting of me. Ethan faced multiple charges, including manslaughter and illegal bioweapon use, and received the death penalty. Serafina was sentenced to life, though she escaped during transport, vanishing without a trace. Life slowly returned to normal. I gave birth to a healthy baby and cherished every moment with my family, grateful for the peace I'd reclaimed. Then, a shocking news report appeared. Footage from a remote national park showed Serafina's mangled body lying in the grass, surrounded by over 100 dogs of every breed. The coroner concluded she had died during childbirth, the harvest system forcing her to carry an impossible number of puppies to term over an extended period. I felt no pity, only a quiet, profound sense of justice. Evil had been repaid. Serafina and Ethan had suffered the ultimate consequence of their monstrous acts. As for me, life was finally mine. Every evening, I watched smoke curl from our chimney, heard laughter inside our home, and knew I was free. I would live every day of this second chance to the fullest.